What did I do? See, this is why I don't use tripods. I did something wrong. How do you do something? Okay, whatever. Try to make it look better, and I'm just sucking at it. All right, whatever. Let's talk. Dreading today's talk because I think I'm gonna have to start a TMI series just for myself, because I feel like I can't be the only one suffering from some of these things, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to people about these things, but I think that I'm gonna do it anyway and put it over and just put it up. I mean, whatever, people will watch or they won't. You don't have to watch. Let's see, today is about, I'm gonna title this thing, and it's totally gonna be clickbaity, but it is literally what's in my head. Like, these videos are, I'm thinking about changing the description of, to something along the lines of like, in my head, through my heart, and out to you, because that's literally what I'm doing. It's like, I think of these things, it processes through my heart and my emotions, and then I'm kind of like spitting them out. But the point is that I'm very embarrassed about today's topic. But I'm going to get over that, because if I'm going to do a TMI topic set of videos, and I'm trying to get it to where you can see me, but I haven't had a shower. But I'm trying to make it less awkward, because I always tell my kids and my husband, I'm like, it's only weird if you make it weird. It's only awkward if you make it awkward. So I'm going to be done making things awkward, and I'm just going to talk about it. So how bad's the hair? Nope. I need a shower. That's after videoing. It should. Well, that was awkward. Okay, stop. We're going to get into medical stuff here. Stuff I've been learning that is very interesting if you want to know why you feel the way you feel. This is not about leaky incontinence. This is about your belly and the way your belly, this part of your body works. If you have pain through there, listen up. Especially if what's really pathetic is that they have the 5 Fs. If you're female, over 40, if you're fat, if you're... I don't remember the rest. There's 2 more. But those 3 I remember, because I'm like, seriously. And those are the factors for deciding if it might be gallbladder. That's hilarious. So my point was, here's the medical part. When you swallow food, okay, your saliva starts, you're digesting, you're already chewing and breaking down your food. Duh. So it goes down your esophagus. It goes slowly. It's not like it shoots down. Some people think it's like, oh, I swallowed, it's in my belly. No, it takes a while, especially with food, because there are muscle movements that take the food down. Because no matter how well you chew, it's going to go slowly so that you're not overloading your belly. That's the way your body's supposed to work. There is a name for those contractions that I cannot remember, but there is a name. You can look it up. So it takes about 20 to 30 minutes to get to your belly, your stomach. There's a valve here that is a sphincter that opens and shuts, and it's about right at the bottom of that bony sternum. I am really sore right here. It's about the size of a quarter. It's very sore, because when my food gets down there, that's where my leaky valve is. It hurts me. But if you have gallbladder issues, you can hurt there as well. I'm not sure why, but I'll have to look it up. I used to know. So your stomach hits your that valve about 20 minutes after you swallow your first bite. When you start to chew, whether it's gum or whether it's food, or if you're chewing on a smoothie as it goes down or whatever, it starts stomach juices moving. That's why my stomach hurts early. That's probably why your stomach hurts early, especially if you have ulcerous activity in there, because once those things start boiling up in there, it's gonna hurt. That is acid, straight up acid. You have special muscles and things, they look like little fingers in your belly, that are specially, I don't want to say formulated, specially designed to withhold the strength of the acid in your belly. They are meant not to break down. But if you're not getting enough food in, that acid just sits around in there, and it's not supposed to sit around in your belly. It's supposed to be used up and moved on. But if you're not eating, okay, anything, all of that acid is just hanging out in your belly, and it hurts. all the time. So food goes in, goes through that little valve. Sometimes people will need that valve dilated, or if they're having issues, or they're like me and they have a leaky valve, and then I don't know what you do because we haven't gotten that far yet. I don't really understand that yet, but hits your stomach. It's right under your sternum, goes around a little loop, and it sloshes around and gets all liquefied. Okay, then down about here is another valve. It's your duodenum. Look it up. Starts with a D. And that valve will open up when your food is liquidy enough to go on. So 2 years ago, I had to have an endoscopy twice, 6 months apart from each other. And what they had to do is they had to go down and dilate that valve for me. I had a swallow test and a gastric emptying test, and they found that when they did the endoscope that duodenum, I don't think I'm saying that right, that sphincter down there needed to be dilated, like it was staying closed. I would eat food and then it would come back up, so they had to open it so that the food could move on. So that happened 2 years ago. I had to have that done twice. So when your food is liquidy enough after being broken down by the acid, it will move on into the part where it hits your pancreas, your liver, your gallbladder will squeeze and neutralize the acid. Bile is created in the liver. The bile comes down a little straw and the overflow goes into the gallbladder. The gallbladder waits until that duodenum is activated when the liquid food comes through, and it squeezes. All of that bile that comes out of your liver through that straw gets really concentrated down in your gallbladder, and it sits just like this, and it's like a little squeeze valve. It squeezes all that crap out, all that bile. And what that bile does is it actually is like a bicarbonate. It hits the acid, neutralizes it, and neutralizes the nutrients, and it moves right through that little area. The carbs there's a lot more that goes on there. Like your pancreas deals with the insulin stuff, and that has to do with diabetes and all kinds of other crap. Point is, it takes about 45 minutes to get there if you're working properly. It hits your small intestines, and here's the interesting part. Your intestines, from that point on, are the part where you digest food. You do not digest food anywhere else. It is all in your intestines and the bottom, your colon, from that point on. And the interesting part, and it's hard to explain, is that your intestines will not accept nutrients unless they are in liquid form. So if your belly is not working properly in the beginning, it messes the whole system up. If your gallbladder is not working properly, and also your nutrients have to be the right pH level. That's why people talk about the pH level. That means how much acid versus alkaline is in it. It's a really, really complicated process, and I'm really trying to go fast through it. But what happens is it starts out, it gets acidic, then you have to neutralize it and make it more alkaline. And your intestines will only accept the actual nutrients from that food if it is in liquid form and it is the right pH value. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope it does. If it doesn't, sorry. And then if it's not working properly, that's why you get a lot of diarrhea or constipation, because your food is like shooting through you. The whole purpose of the intestines, is to gather the nutrients, to absorb the nutrients. And it absorbs that nutrients and pulls it with water. So if you're having diarrhea, you're not getting that right pull of nutrients. That's why you get dehydrated. That's why you get whatever. All that makes sense, right? Just tell me it does. Okay, so we're moving on.